company can't do?
See, we have multiple agencies in India and the private players also. However, the tough terrain in a country like India, where we have terrain of all kind, which one can think of, and it's really very tough to work in such terrains. Because of these things, I think BRO is able to do the justice which others are probably not able to do.
Can you tell me about some of the challenges that you faced? You just broadly mentioned them, but can you go into a bit more detail about?
See, it's quite windy, but exactly. The wind goes like 20 to 30 knots as the day passes. Temperatures goes up till -35, -40s also at places. Then the wind, and because of no vegetation, there is no oxygen over here.
Yes.
So the altitude and the lack of oxygen, these things are making the human survival almost impossible. So these are the major challenges.
And can you tell us, see, a lot of us come here to holiday nowadays. Because of you, the roads are so accessible. This is a great road trip destination. Someone who's road tripping in, say, this area, what tips will you give them for them to drive safely?
Yeah.
1 or 2 tips.
Design speed, and people were allowed to construct the roads which are better than the road speeds. So unfortunately, places like plains, from where our tourists are coming in, generally the variation in the design speed is not much. Let's say if you're traveling on a Pune-Mumbai highway, so you can travel on 120 almost at 95% of the stretches. But here in Ladakh, it's not like that. Every 200 meter, 500 meter, there you will have to, change your speed either to increase or suddenly decrease. So one should always keep in mind that the design speed of these roads in Ladakh, everywhere in Ladakh, is 40, 50 kilometer per hour. And secondly, the recommendation is always to keep the gear in lower gears.
With our new friend playing host, we decided to break away from the norm and head to Manali via a road less travelled. The Tiguan made sure that we weren't too apprehensive of this decision. It's an SUV we know well, and unlike many of its competitors, we have found it to be far more capable in the rough than its sleek, luxurious appearance suggests. Of course, the usual Volkswagen traits of safety, reliability, and top-notch German engineering are at their absolute highest level, considering this is Volkswagen India's flagship offering. So heading out from Leh, we decided to head to Neoma in southern Ladakh. This place's breathtaking scenery, where the scale and beauty of the mountains seem to get better at every turn, was in full force. At 16,000 feet, it's just south of Chushul, which is where the 1962 war was fought, and it's one of the passes that tourists seem to have forgotten. But as you can see, it's absolutely stunning with these typically Leh landscapes, and this is something we definitely don't want to miss. So I'm looking forward to what the Tiguan can do in this quite challenging terrain. Descending from Yaya La, we found ourselves in the kind of untouched, calming beauty that is especially hard to find in India. Yaya So is a small lake surrounded by hills with lush green grasslands meeting its still waters. Its remoteness makes it a draw for the unique wildlife in Ladakh, and for us, taking in Well, the further we've gone off the beaten path, the more the Tiguan has impressed us. Now, we always knew this was a strong, dependable, solidly built car, but the way it's tackled these quite rough terrains that we come across, for example, rocky trails, muddy trails, sandy patches, anything that you put in front of it, it's handled it really quite well. And the thing with it is, it's so easy. I mean, all you have to do is just pull into the off-road mode. There are 2 modes, a normal one and an expert one, and the car just manages everything. It manages how the power goes to the rear wheels, the way the traction control is being managed. So even if you aren't very used to driving in these conditions, just the way the Tiguan makes you feel safe and comfortable, all those typical VW qualities, it's really been a great reassurance on this trip. But we weren't done yet. Heading along to Dibring to rejoin the Manali-Leh highway, we had to pass one of the more unique destinations you will find in our country. The Puga marshlands are the only hot geysers you'll find in India. The rounded rocky surface of this marshland with its lush green cover seems right out of an alien planet. And with the capability of the Tiguan, we managed to get quite further than you otherwise would in a car. This We've been to Ladakh a few times, but never has the trip involved covered ground quickly and confidently when we needed it to, all in a safe, dependable, cocooning manner that never made us doubtful.